We got a wild one this morning, boys and girls. We got a crazy stock. It's up over 60%, 1.5 million shares traded. It's going straight to the moon. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about a trade. One little trade that I made this morning. I'm green. I'm happy. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, my friends. It's about making a little bit of money and keeping yourself alive. Staying alive, you know, over and over every day. Taking a little bit of money, staying alive. Taking a little bit of money, staying alive. And that's what it comes down to right here on the number one day trading channel on YouTube. You've heard it. You've heard it right here. I've claimed it. I'm going to get a plaque across the wall that says it. It's the truth. It's happening right here on YouTube. So let's do it. Let's talk about this trade. Let's show you the action here on AKTX this morning and break it down and break it down. Let's go. All right, so this morning we got AKTX popping up on top of the Trade Ideas scanner. It's at $2.68. It's got 500,000 shares traded so far. It's up 48.9%. And you can see here, it's going straight up. This basically happened about 8 o'clock. We went from $2, $2.70. And yeah, right now it's looking a little overextended. I'm not going to lie, looking a little overextended. So I'm looking for a bit of a pullback here, some consolidation before jumping in on this. We'll see what happens. Got 8 million shares in the float. You can see there, 8 million shares. So get a good size float for some volatility today. And we're looking for some action here. Now, I'm looking at this on the 5-minute chart. You can see, obviously, this thing is definitely overextended to the upside right now on the 5-minute chart. So not really feeling confident in the idea of buying, you know, up here at the 260-270 area. So that's, you know, maybe if it was at market open, maybe if there was a lot of volume on this thing and it was going straight up, I would think about, you know, jumping in for a quick scalp. But right now, pre-market, just not really giving me a good entry here in terms of, you know, something really moving and moving strong. So right now, it's just kind of at that area. You know, on the 1-minute chart, it's the thing. It's like on the 1-minute chart right now, you know, if I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, okay, look at that. It's trending nicely. It's holding the EMAs. It's looking pretty. But then when I zoom out to the bigger picture, I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. It's just like, it's just really kind of overextended right now. So that 260 area is going to be an important area for it. If you can't hold 260, I'm thinking this thing's going to pull back at least down to the 240 area. So we'll see what happens. So far, that 272 is the pre-market high right now. You can see kind of that overall ascending triangle, and then kind of also like a little mini bull flag there on the 5-minute chart. Or I wouldn't say a mini bull flag, but it's definitely a bull flag there. But you can see kind of that 270 area holding it down right now. So I'm going to sit back, kind of look for, you know, a pullback here. And once we get that pullback, I might look for an entry. But right now, just not really giving me like a telltale sign of like, hey, this is where I want to be buying it. AKTX breaking up to the upside now, breaking out to the upside there. Up there to 280 now. You can see that 260 area, like I talked about earlier, being that important area to hold. Just still wasn't really loving that idea of just kind of buying this as it was really overextended there on the 5-minute chart. But you can see now that's kind of how it goes sometimes. Even when a stock is overextended, even when it's, you know, up big and it's away from all the indicators and it's really just not looking like a good buy, it can still go, you know, up another 20 cents. So from 260 up there to 280, that's not a bad trade by any means. But for me, I just didn't see the risk to reward there because I was basically going to be, you know, buying there at 260 and I'd be risking off that 240 area for really, you know, a 20 cent, maybe 10 cent move there. So it's just a little too early in the morning to be risking, you know, that much for a smaller gain. So I'm still sitting back here and just kind of waiting and watching here on AKTX. If we don't get a trade on it, we don't get a trade on it. But the last thing I want to do is go and just buy just because I think it's going to go higher. I really, you know, I want to look for that opportunity. I want to get that discount buying opportunity. Look at it now. It's up there at 285. So as I'm sitting here talking about not buying it, it's going higher. So that's obviously, you know, difficult. And as you can see there, like I said earlier, just that 1-minute chart, it's just slowly heading higher there. And, you know, there it goes, 290 now. So it's like ding, 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 ding. The squeeze is real. But we just have not really had the entry that we were looking for. So just sitting back here, being patient, giving it some time. Giving it some time here. Talk about FOMO right now. Talk about FOMO. Look at this thing. Up there at 305 now. So just going higher and higher as I'm sitting here. And all I'm thinking about is like, man, that 260 area would have been a beautiful buy. But just sticking to the rules here, guys. I'm looking for a big pull. I want to see, a nice little washout or something to really be like, okay, this is a good discount buy here. I don't know. Obviously, it's just, it's hard. Definitely hard to sit back here now and be like, well, that was silly. So let's see what happens here at the $3 area. If this thing's going to pull back here and maybe give us an entry. But still, I mean, look at the 5-minute chart right now. We're just going straight up right now still. Let's see if we get a pullback here. If we can get that pullback and look for an entry. But right now, it's just showing a lot of strength. Now we got 1.2 million shares traded. So you can see almost doubled in share in the volume since this morning. This morning we had 600,000. Now we got 1.2 million, and that's double the amount of shares traded. We got big buyers sitting at $3 right now. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a washout here. I'm going to grab some there at 295, and I'll grab some more down here in the 290s. Now I think I'm just a pop back above $3 here. For us to rally back over 3. Take a little bit there at 302 just to lock down some profit. Got another 2,500 shares left. See if we can't push up there to 310. Push it a little bit more here. Looking like it wants to slow down a little bit right here. So I'm going to kind of just scale out a little bit more. And then just keep this 295 area as my stop here. Looking a little weak here. Like it wants to pull back some more. But I have been wrong about the stock basically all morning. So I'm going to play it safe. And you can see still locking down $260. Was hoping for a little bit more of a move there. Up there above 310. Kind of pull back here and then push up there to 310. But you can see we got stuck there at 305. So once I saw we were getting stuck there, I was like, I'm going to start scaling out here. And that's what we did. Ended up just kind of scaling out. Was this the best trade ever? I mean, definitely a little bit of a chase. You can see on the 5-minute chart, we're still really overextended on the 5-minute chart there. So I'm not really happy about this overall trade, but you can see in general, I was still able to, buy the dip here. Really kind of why you might ask the question, why was I not buying the dip down here at the 260 area when it was down there? But I think, seeing how this thing moved, it got up there above $3, pushed right above $3. Normally we get these kind of volatile moves around the whole dollar area. So I was like, okay, now we got this big push. We broke through that previous, that $3 resistance. We broke through there. We got a nice little pullback. So now I feel a little bit more confident in the idea that there is that kind of $3 area as maybe a support, as a resistance, kind of breaking through that. And that kind of gave me it gave me a little bit more confidence in buying at that area. And now you can see kind of having a little bit of trouble. 295 still kind of holding here, but just not really liking how we kind of slowed down there. Ideally, I would have wanted to see this kind of just push right back up there to 310 and just keep kind of going, maybe make a new high there, but kind of slowing down. So the trend kind of changing here and kind of consolidating. And I didn't really want to get stuck in a drop here. Like I said earlier, this thing's just really overextended right now, so there's a good chance this thing could drop. There's also a good chance that it could go higher. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But I'm leaning more towards the idea of a little bit more of a pullback as we're just really overextended here. And that's just kind of how it goes. You got to kind of go with your gut here. And I might be totally wrong. This thing could just go down to $5. But, looking at the chart here, I'm like, looking at this 5-minute chart, what is it? It looks like there's a better chance of a pullback than a move to the upside, but it's also kind of if it can hold, I'd say if it can hold that 295 area, yeah, it'll probably want to rally a little bit more here, but we're gonna just play it safe and lock down some profit this morning, and we'll see what happens here in a second. We'll pretty much know what's gonna happen here in about 2 seconds, and if this thing can get back above 3 or if we can hold at 295 area, and we'll see. If it can't hold 295, it's gonna be a nice little drop probably. It's at that fine line right now, fine line in the sand where it's like, is he gonna find the buyers, or the buyers gonna step in here? Or are they gonna buy and push this higher, or are we going to have some trouble? Trouble. 290s now, 290 area. Is it going to hold? There's a drop we're talking about. So I hate to sit here and be like, oh, I was right, I was wrong, because obviously I was wrong earlier when I thought it was going to drop. But like I said earlier, you got to kind of figure out what works for you when you're feeling it, when you're not feeling it. You got to do what you got to do. And this was a good little trade here. Got a little profit, made not exactly what I wanted. I was really hoping for. I guess that's my problem. I was hoping, but I was really thinking we might get that nice little, just kind of rapid volatile move back above 310 here. Go for a new high, maybe push to 320. 320, it would have made sense. Kind of not really having any resistance there, having that break through that $3 area, and just thinking, 320, 340. This thing could just kind of rally if it really wanted to go. You can see previously the stock has went from $2 up there to $6, and then $6 up there to $9, and had some nice little pops along the way. So there it is. If you guys haven't already, do me one big favor, hit that subscribe button. I got things I gotta do, places I gotta be, people I gotta see. I will talk to you guys later on.